What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Bret back on the show. Bret, good to have you on.
Oh yeah, it's great to be back, man. Ready for the season.
Yeah, can't wait. We're getting things amped up. We just had our first preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. It was fun to see the fans back and football back on the TV. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. Now let's get this started. This will be the 2021 San Francisco 49ers season preview. Looking at last year, they went 6-10 and finished fourth in the NFC West. They were plagued by injuries on both sides of the ball, including starting quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and 2019 rookie defensive player of the year Nick Bosa. So injury hit. What do you think of the 49ers with going and drafting Trey Lance, the quarterback situation? Garoppolo hasn't been able to stay healthy, and even when healthy, Garoppolo kind of struggled last year for sure. Um,
Yeah.
do you think the Niners go to Lance pretty quickly, or do they try to ride Garoppolo?
I mean, I feel like they'll probably go to Lance quicker than they should.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, we've talked about this before. Just a couple years ago, the 49ers were in the Super Bowl. They were plagued by injuries last year. They had the formula to get to the end, and that's pretty much stayed consistent with what they had a couple years ago. So I don't, if you can stay healthy with what you had, maybe you take that chance with Jimmy, and you can let Lance then see from the sideline and learn. Still give yourself a chance to win, and if things go, sideways in the middle of the season, then you might, think about making some changes.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how well they bounce back because when fully healthy, it's a pretty dominant defense. It's a pretty good team overall. So we'll see if they pull the trigger quickly and go to Lance because of his upside and just want to get him out there, or if they try to play the patient approach and give Garoppolo some time. We'll see how that all unfolds. We've also got, Deshaun Watson trade potentially looming around, stuff like that. So the Niners were also linked to potentially trading for Aaron Rodgers as well. So you never know.
Man, they're they got to figure it out there.
Yeah. But I think we'll see. I agree with you. I think we'll see Lance earlier than a lot of people expect. Some coaching staff changes. Mike McDaniel is promoted to offensive coordinator after being the run game coordinator since 2017. We all know defensive coordinator Robert Saleh was hired by the Jets as head coach after being the Niners DC since 2017. The Niners promote linebackers coach D'Amico Ryans, former NFL linebacker, to defensive coordinator. You remember D'Amico Ryans for the Eagles and Texans?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was a pretty good linebacker, former Pro Bowler. So it'll be interesting to see how the defense looks under a new coordinator. But the main key for that defense is health. If they can stay healthy, I think that's a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, uh, they were plagued by injuries last year, but uh, they come back. They got Bosa coming off the injury, so we'll see how that
Mm-hmm.
defense plays out, and if they can keep the reins, in their hands throughout the game, and it allows Jimmy G to just, be in the quarterback position like he was a couple years ago. I don't see why they can't be there right at the end.
Yeah, it's a tough division, but I think they can. They're good enough to, be very competitive. I don't know about contend, but maybe you never know. I think a lot's gonna hinge around Trey Lance and how his development goes. Looking at who they added, I mean, they bring in center Alex Mack from Atlanta, so there's a big acquisition there. They get defensive end Samson Ebukam from the division rival Rams, defensive tackle Zach Kerr, safety Tavon Wilson, safety Tony Jefferson, defensive end Arden Key from the Raiders, defensive tackle Maurice Hurst from the Raiders. Um, let's see. They got Michael Pruitt at tight end, running back Wayne Gallman, wide receiver Mohamed Sanu from your Lions. What do you think about the Niners' additions in free agency?
I feel like they did well. They filled gaps and put people in roster spots that they needed. But I feel that there was within the division, just within their division, I feel like their free agency was probably the worst out of
Yeah,
the whole division as far as a overall type. What the hype and how it changed things with some additions there, but. They're doing what they can. I don't know what their plans are, if it's tank or if it's, thinking, okay, we want to save some cap space and just be who we are and let our, uh, rookie quarterback get settled. But I don't
yeah.
know. It'll be interesting.
Well, to me, what stood out to me in their free agency wasn't that it's like they didn't add anything super sexy in free agency. I think their biggest addition is Alex Mack at center. So whenever your biggest acquisition is a center, no one's going to be like, oh, look out. But I think it's a solid addition, and they just added pieces. Like we said, their defensive core is pretty solid. So they just added pieces around it, added some pieces offensively. But I think the biggest splash moves they did, if you look at the running back room, it was Raheem Mostert was the head of it. Raheem Mostert was everything. Who else did they have last year? They had like Tevin Coleman, Jerick McKinnon. Those guys are gone now. But they did bring in Wayne Gallman from the Giants. He'll be that's a number 2. But my biggest addition was a rookie running back, Trey Sermon, out of Ohio State. I think he is a sneaky good, real good acquisition, and he could play, take some meaningful snaps and be real impactful right away. Do you like Trey Sermon's fit with the 49ers offense?
I think with what they have and the ability to be flexible at that position, I
Yeah.
don't see why not. Take a chance. You have to find, obviously you got Mostert there, but if you can find a 1-2 punch, I don't know how many running backs they're going to have on their chart, but
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt, especially with your offense being what it has to be. Put them in, plug them in, and see what can happen.
Well, I believe Trey Sermon's probably running back 3 on the depth chart right now. But in my opinion, as the season goes on, Trey Sermon should be running back 2 behind Monster, with Wayne Gallman being the third option. And I think, we both saw Trey Sermon a lot at Ohio State. He has major upside. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree, but at the same time, a lot of that coming out of Ohio State, it's a lot of flash and show in college, and not a lot of it translates to the NFL. So,
Well, true, but I agree with you. So when you look at it with Jimmy G playing quarterback, you're like, Raheem Mostert's the guy, but what are they going to be doing? It's not super uh, intimidating. But when you put Trey Lance under center, and then you have Monster and Sermon in the backfield, along with Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, their ability to do wide receiver reverses or quick screen passes, it makes them really hard to defend. Along with fullback Kyle Juszczyk, you really have to look at like every single option. You know what I mean? They're very dangerous and versatile, I think.
yeah, they can be, especially if they figure something out, like you said with Lance. They
Yeah.
come in, show a different package. Now teams aren't going to be expecting the Jimmy G show, on the offensive side. So,
Yeah, I agree with that. And I could see, even if they're starting Jimmy G, I could see them putting Trey Lance in some special certain formations, certain plays, bring him in and see how he does, like in a not wildcat, but like quarterback option, stuff like that.
yeah, certain scenarios where you can learn and get reps.
Yeah.
And yeah, why not? Because if you find something there, in like dead, possessions or what you think could be, or certain times in games where it's a blowout or whatnot early in the season.
Yeah.
That's what you got him for. So why not?
But I mean, that's what I'm looking at. When I see this team, I see the potential of Trey Lance, Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, Kyle Juszczyk. That backfield is nuts. And then when you throw on Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel on the outside, and George Kittle, arguably the best tight end in football, that's really intense. I don't know how you defend that.
Yeah, it was intense there, huh? Trying to get that one
I
out.
couldn't get that one out. But anyways, looking at losses, so Kendrick Bourne is gone. He goes to the Patriots. Running back Jerick McKinnon to the Chiefs. Akello Witherspoon to division rival Seattle. Defensive tackle Solomon Thomas to the Raiders. Kerry Hyder Jr. to Seattle. Tevin Coleman gone. Jordan Reed retired. So both backup quarterbacks, C.J. Beathard, Nick Mullins gone. So they did lose a little bit, but if healthy, this is a very talented roster. Who do you think are the biggest playmakers in 2021? And first of all, how quickly do you think? Let's put a week on it. When do you think Trey Lance gets the quarterback one job? Do you think he sits as the backup all year long? Does he come in for injury, or do you think at a certain point by performance they'll put him in?
Well, I'm not sure I want to claim that he's going to come in for injury, but
yeah,
I think it's just going to be based on how it plays out. It's either going to be like it was a couple years ago for the 49ers, and at that point I'd be all in with Jimmy G, or it's going to be another, not necessarily physically injury prone, but just broken pieces throughout the system as far as the offense goes. Because I'm expecting the defense to be all right, but even if then they get one key loss, it could be shut down. So I don't know. I would say if they play the first week, they play at Detroit, and then they got to go to Philadelphia, and then they play Green Bay on Sunday Night Football, and then Seattle. So, and right after that, it's another divisional opponent on the road against Arizona with a bye in week 6, and then Sunday Night Football against the Colts. So they've got, and then at the Bears. So they've got a rough schedule. I don't, if they can get through that with Jimmy G, if they can come, I don't know, 4-4 out of that, I think I would stay with Jimmy G. If they start off their 1-3, 2-3, 2-4, then it might be time to hit the brakes.
Yeah, we'll see. There's some talk about Trey Lance starting week 1. He's been killing it in camp from everything that I've heard. I love the Trey Lance fit. You've heard me talk a lot about it in the draft. The upside of Trey Lance, along with the versatility and explosiveness of the Kyle Shanahan offense, I think it's a match made in heaven. If I'm the Niners, I'm looking to get Trey Lance out there as soon as possible. But I agree, looking at their schedule, either you put Trey Lance out week 1 and just say, let's see what you can do, or you wait until about the bye week 6 or so. And, I always like to, if you're going to make a switch at quarterback, make that going into the bye week so he has an extra week to prepare. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's logical.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you wait any longer, you're thinking week 8, week 9, and there's, like you said, their schedule's pretty tough early on. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Niners do. I'm leaning towards it. I might start Trey Lance week 1. I really might.
At Detroit?
Yeah. Not for, Detroit or anything like that. Just basically on the fact that we saw Jimmy Garoppolo struggle when healthy last year, early on in the season. He didn't entirely get benched for injury. Some of it was performance. I don't know. We'll see. The Niners have a lot to figure out. But I get the feeling that Kyle Shanahan's going to want to put his shiny new quarterback out there sooner rather than later, and show what he can do in that offense.
I agree.
So we'll see. Looking at key playmakers, so of course we talked Trey Lance. Raheem Mostert is, we know that. We've seen what he could do in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago. He's a threat for sure. I love the Trey Sermon acquisition. Then you got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Jalen Hurd at receiver. They brought in Trent Sherfield from Arizona, George Kittle. So yeah, I mean, they're a loaded and deep roster. I think they're going to be tough to beat. What do you think of the expectations for the Niners? I've got them at 7 to 10 wins this season. I don't think that they're contending for a Super Bowl. I think there's going to be some speed bumps along the route. It was me kind of assuming that Trey Lance is going to start sooner than later. So I think, 10-7, 9-8, 8-9, 7-10 is about the right spot. What do you think? Is that too low?
No, I'm right there with you. I think 6-9 or 6-9 wins is probable.
It's a tough division.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to do a lot to come away just like with a winning record or because I don't think they're gonna win the division at all.
Yeah.
So they would have to get a wild card, but the NFC is gonna be pretty tough too. So I think they're just under like probably 6 to 7 wins.
Yeah, because either way, you're going to be looking at either a rookie quarterback learning or a veteran quarterback that we don't know can still play very well. So it's going to be, in a little bit of an adjustment period. That's why I would put Trey Lance in probably week 1 and just say, look, let's get out. We need to develop you, so let's develop him right away. My concerns with developing Trey Lance are almost non-existent. That's how much I trust Kyle Shanahan and this 49ers coaching staff to develop him. I think it's a match made in heaven, Niners and Trey Lance. And I think that I would put him out there as soon as possible, throw him the keys to the offense and say, let's see what you can do.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. It would be interesting and pretty, it'll be fun for fans to see him week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. So we agree about 6 to 9 or 7 to 10 wins, potential to maybe make the playoffs, but not contending in the NFC this season. Let's give them a year or two with the quarterback adjustment. Like I said, tough division, and we'll see what happens with the quarterback situation. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Niners look like, and can't wait to see how Trey Lance looks with this team. The potential is really there for. It's going to be super hard to defend this team when it all clicks, and then defense on top of it. So
it may be early in the season, it may be a year or two from now, but there will be exciting things in San Francisco.
Do you think, is there anything in your mind that says the Niners should have taken Justin Fields over Trey Lance at 3?
I mean, besides the consensus in society thinking that that's what was going to happen, no.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see, I don't know the big key differences. I'm not watching hundreds of hours of film on them, to make this big decision. But, I think if that's what they wanted to go for and they made the moves that they did to get there, then there's a reason.
Yeah. For me, when I see Trey Lance, I just see unbelievable upside and a cannon of an arm, underrated athleticism. And when you take athleticism and a cannon arm and mix it with Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, the flexibility of this offense, I think it's a win-win. So I can't wait to see what it looks like. Thanks for coming on, Bret. Great job as always. Niners season preview. I appreciate the support, fans. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And have a great week, guys. Peace Oh.